This is Loxodon, the axe-wielding heavyweight from Rivals of Aether 2 and ruthless dictator of the Etherean realm. And this is Boulder, or usually called by the community Meatball. It's Lox's sole projectile in his disjointed keep-away-oriented kit, but he can only really use it while on the ground, digging up a nice chunk of molten rock and slinging it at opponents, dealing 6% of damage. Pretty sure that's an FDA violation. On the very surface level, this seems underwhelming. It comes out slower compared to most projectiles in Rivals 2, and at an awkward arc that most characters can just dash past. Plus, Lox is not actionable for quite some time before or even after Boulder comes out, meaning if he tries to use it at a close distance, he is going to get swatted away. But in what this move lacks in speed and frames, it more than makes up for in its versatility. Okay class, today we will be going over the Boulder Basics. So, we've shown you Boulder at its neutral input, but what if you change the way your control stick is facing? If you hold it in while Lox digs his tucks into the ground, you can launch it more vertically, keeping it closer as a potential anti-air option. If you push it outward, it will chuck more horizontally. This is great for checking opponents while they're off stage, almost like a think fast, gotcha bitch option, or to force them into a worse position easier for you to edgeguard. This tool is one of the many big reasons Lox has incredibly oppressive edgeguarding capabilities, just like how he oppresses the denizens of Aether for his own greed. You can also hold the special button down and charge it up, launching the projectile much further and faster than before. The longer you cook the meatball, the more knockback and damage it does. This isn't to say regular version is useless. It leaves the opponent in hit stun for quite a while, allowing you to pretty easily follow up on it for combos, or even confirm into stronger moves for kills at certain percents. With all of this combined, you have already quite a number of options to mix up your opponent just from one attack. But if you're too obvious with how you throw it, the enemy can take advantage. Rivals 2 has a universal parry mechanic. When you parry an attack, it temporarily stuns the opponent, letting you do whatever you want to them in that small time frame. But if they parry a projectile instead, they're granted invincibility for a brief amount of time, and in Lox's case, turn his projectile against him. So, your opponent has read the meatball recipe and is able to lock down essentially what you want to do. What do you do now? Well, what if I said that we still haven't covered its true versatility yet? Hold on. First, I need a change. It's time to cook. Welcome to Lox of Garden, and today I will be teaching you how to cook an Italian classic, the meatball. Do Italians exist in Aether? You see, other characters' throwable ingredients are always raw. For my novice colonist, Rivals 2 projectiles have other counterplay besides shield and parry. Almost all projectiles are able to be broken by attacking them before they hit you. One of the main exceptions is, as you can guess, Boulder. Instead of breaking, you can hit the boulder back at Lox with preemptive attacks. But what if Lox tries to beat his meat instead? Now you're cooking. The sheer amount of potential moves you can hit Meatball with is what makes this move so addicting and fun to use. Each attack sends the boulder in their own different trajectories, and depending on how strong the move your attack is, affects the speed the boulder goes. On top of all of that, certain moves allow you to juggle it for an even crazier mix-up, especially when you throw Meatball close. Wave dash back, sweet spot jab 1, hit fall neutral air 1, and down air are all moves that can set up the pasta protein into whatever your imagination is after. I mean, you could technically juggle it across the stage with just constant jabs if you wanted to, but I think you get the point. Each time you hit the boulder, you add a new charge to it, dealing more damage and knockback each time you juggle the meatball around. The inherent mix in this mechanic alone can add so much mental stack on your opponent to keep them guessing on how you're going to sauce them next. Your ability on how you want to toss the meatball around is limited to your creativity, and, well, your opponent's neutral, I guess, as well. As mentioned earlier, it's also a really strong option for when your opponent is off stage. You can cook here too, juggling it by the ledge and still hitting opponents if they aren't able to read you, and even lead into different kill options, especially when you consider the additional knockback from each new charge. much. Add on other options such as run off forward air, invincible bear, and dare off ledge, and even comboing off of eruption. And yeah, this is why Lox's abilities for edge guarding are just some of the best amongst the cast. You could even use Lox's own command trap to just chuck the boulder downward if you want, which isn't frankly a good option by any means, but incredibly hyped to land. Now, all of this combined makes Molten Boulder sound like the most broken move in the game. But is all of this actually practical? No. Well, kind of. At the highest level of play, it is not often that you're going to see Stango or Kakinga juggle the meatball like a one-player game. And honestly, they rarely pull meatball out in raw neutral either. The move is just too slow sometimes at the level of speed the game is played at that top level. But we see them using it mainly for edge guarding, using it to break momentum of opponents' recoveries, and mixing up dropping it down the ledge, launching it directly at an opponent, and of course, whacking it with the axe for a complete mix-up. We also see them get the most mileage by mainly using Boulder when their opponent is above them, whether for string extensions, platform tech chasing, or as stated already, edge guarding. And don't get me wrong, with all of this said, it definitely takes time to master actually using this move in a meaningful way. You're not going to be able to mix up hardened opponents without mastering both the movement options of rivals and even finding the opportunities to pull it out in your neutral game to begin with. But not all hope is lost. I'm not saying Boulder is a bad move by any means, and I'm not saying that it can't be used in neutral, as I personally think there is a ton of potential here still, and I know some Loxodonts who are really pushing how the move can function. One player in particular who I've been following for a bit, Rottweiler, has some insane usage of meatball in neutral, and his in-depth Boulder guide is very much worth your time to check out if you're trying to learn how to effectively use Boulder in neutral, and essentially the best times in all the use cases, way more specific than this video is. But that is how cooking goes. You figure out the initial recipe for success and adjust your levels of spices and cooking techniques from there. So go on out there, my newly appointed chefs, and go saute ranked with the spiciest meatballs you can. Terrorize Ether like the fascist Lox truly is. Thanks for watching. Hey, I know this is something a bit different than what I've done in the past. This is kind of just a fun little side video I wanted to do because A, I love Loxodont. I think he is the most fun I've had ever playing a character in a plat fighter. And B, I haven't really gone to video edit for this channel in a while. As you can see, it's been like, what, 4 months since I put out a video. So I wanted to make sure I was putting those editing chops to use for this channel and doing something a little fun. It's going to be probably a little bit until my next video. I'm working on a very long documentary for a certain player in Smash Ultimate. I don't know if I'm going to work on any other video besides that this year, to be honest, because my god, it's already like 25 pages, so it's going to probably be a bit. But yeah, I wanted to do this as a quick little fun project and hopefully influence you guys to check out Rivals of Aether 2. It's an awesome game, and I wish more people played it. All right, that's all for me. Take care. See you all hopefully before the year ends. My god, I hope so.